Good morning, guys. How are you today? Fine. Yesterday we have finished from the problems. Today we will start a new lesson. Our lesson is about divisibility by 2, 5, and 10. Okay, so lesson 4 in chapter 3, divisibility by 2, 5, and 10, page 62. So our lesson today is about divisibility by 2, 5, and 10. Here in this lesson, we will study 3 rules. We will study rule to know which numbers are divisible by 2, which numbers are divisible by 5, and which numbers are divisible by 10. Before we start, let's explain what do I mean by divisibility. What do I mean by divisibility? Divisible by, what does it mean? Divisible by means if you divide one number by another number, the result is a whole number without a remainder. For example, if you look at table 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. When I say 12 divided by 2. Is 12 in table 2? Yes, check, it's in table 2. Which number in table 2 give us 12? 2 times 6, the answer is 6. So 12 is in table 2. So we are dividing two numbers and the 12 is in table 2. So 12 is divisible by 2. But when I say 13 divided by 2, is 13 in table 2? No. So 13 is not in table 2, so it's not divisible by 2. So divisibility the same as in this table. Which numbers are divisible by 2? The same as which numbers are in table 2. Which numbers are divisible by 3? The same as which numbers are in table 3. Which numbers are divisible by 5? The same as which numbers are in table 5. So when I say divisible by, the number should be in the table. Okay, with no remainder. Without remainder, I mean it's in the table. For example, 12 divided by 6. Which number in table 6 give us 12? 2. So 12 is in table 6, so there's no remainder. So 12 is divisible by 6. 15 divided by 5. Is 15 in table 5? Yes, so it's divisible by 5. Which number in table 5 give us 15? 3. So divisible by means it should be in the table. Here 13 is not divisible by 2 because it's not in table 2. This what do I mean by divisible. Now we will start with the first rule, which numbers are divisible by 2. A number is divisible by 2, I mean is in table 2 if the ones digit is an even number. What are the even numbers? 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. These numbers 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, we call them even numbers. So 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, we call them even numbers. When do we say a number is divisible by 2? Just look at the ones digit. If it's one of these numbers, 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, so it's divisible by 2. Why? Why the ones digit should be just these numbers? Look at table 2. Table 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Okay? A number is divisible by 2, we said if it's in table 2. Okay, let's deduce now a rule. A number is divisible by 2 if it's in table 2. Type, look at table 2. The ones digit here, 0. Here it's 2. Here 4. Here 6. Here 8. Again, let's underline the ones digit, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Then 0, we are repeating. Always the ones digit with table 2 here, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? So from now on, we will just look at the ones digit. If it's 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, then it's in table 2. So it's divisible by 2, okay? Because all the numbers in table 2 ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. If we continue more also, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, دايما ones digit, okay? So for big numbers, for sure we can't look at table 2. For example, when I say 122, is it in table 2? To check We can continue more and more by adding 2, but it will take so much time. So no need. Just look at the ones digit. If it's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, so yes, it's in table 2. Because in table 2, all the numbers ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So 78 to 3,470. Let's check if they are divisible by 2. What is the ones digit here? First digit on the right side, it's 8. And here it's 0. So 8 and 0, so they are even numbers. So yes, they are divisible by 2. Now let's try which number is not divisible by 2. I mean, the ones digit, when I say divisible by 2, let's write up the rule. A number is divisible by 2 if the ones digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Let's look at the ones digit. What is the ones digit here? 2. 2. So yes, it's divisible by 2. What is the ones digit here? 4. 4, yes. So it's one from these numbers. So yes, divisible by 2. Here, 249, the one digit is 9. Do we have here 9? No. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. There is no 9. So the ones digit is 9. It's not an even number. So it's not divisible by 2. So which number is not divisible by 2? This one. 249 is not divisible by 2 because the ones digit is 9. Okay? Wonderful. So a number is divisible by 2 if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Okay? We have finished from the numbers that are divisible by 2. Now, rule 5. Which numbers are divisible by 5? I mean, which numbers are in table 5. So divisible means it should be in the table. So, let's write table 5. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. From the table, we will notice the rule. 35, 40, 45, and 50, and so on. Why we are deducing the rule? In order to know for big numbers, to check if they are divisible by 5 or not, we can't look at the table. In table 5, we have just till 50. So we will notice a rule in order to check when do we say for large numbers if they are divisible by 5 or not. Right. Let's look at the ones digit here in all in table 5. Here it's 0, here 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. If you continue more and more, so we continue by 0 or 5. So what do you notice here? We notice that a number is divisible by 5 if the ones digit is 0 or 5. And in table 5, كلهم ends with 0 or 5. So a number is divisible by 5 if the ones digit is 0 or 5. عندنا بس two choices, 0 or 5. So let's check here. Go quickly at the ones digit. The ones digit is 5, so yes, divisible by 5. Here, 0, so yes, divisible by 5. لما تكون ال ones digit 0 or 5, so it's divisible by 5. Which number is not divisible by 5? Look at the ones digit. It should be 0 or 5. The ones digit here is 0, so it's divisible by 5. Here it's 9. Is it 0 or 5? No, so it's not in table 5. It's not divisible by 5. Here it's 0, so yes, it's divisible by 5. Okay? So a number is divisible by 5 if the ones digit is 0 or 5, ends in 0 or 5. Okay? The last rule now, table 10. Which numbers are in table 10? You know table 10, all of them ends with what? With 0. Look at table 10. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and so on. The ones digit in all is just 0. عندنا بس one choice. It has to be 0. So if the ones digit is 0, so it's divisible by 10. Look at the ones digit here, 7,630. Ones digit 0, so it's divisible by 10. 410 also ends in 0, so it's divisible by 10. 56,920 ends with 0, divisible by 10. 7,537, the ones digit is 7, it's not 0, so it's not divisible by 10. This is the number that's not divisible by 10. 870, the ones digit is 0, so yes, divisible by 10. So a number is divisible by 10 if the ones digit is 0. Just we have one choice who is 0. Okay? Just that's it. So three rules. عندنا divisibility by 2, 5, and 10. A number is divisible by 10. The ones digit is 0. بس عندنا one choice. Divisible by 5 عندنا two choices. ال ones digit بدها تكون 0 or 5. Divisible by 2 عندنا 5 choices بتable 2 عم ينتهوا ب 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. These we call them even numbers. Okay? So a number is divisible by 2 if the ones digit is an even number, by 5 if the ones digit is 0 or 5, by 10 if the ones digit is just 0. Please study the divisibility rules اللي هن by 2, 5 or 10. Study these. In the Zoom period, we will practice more and we will make recitation for the divisibility rules. Okay, guys, bye-bye.